Yo guys, I hope you're doing well. Welcome to the launch live stream of Story Hero Academy. I hope you enjoyed that video, and I'm actually really excited to finally be connecting live again with you. We did some of these live streams back in the days and they were always fun, but this time it is obviously about something much bigger, because this time I'm going to just reveal everything that I've built over the last 3.5 years in silence. And what I'm about to show you is basically what I wish I had when I started as a creator. And I know that it would have saved me years of struggle, and that's why I'm just extremely excited to show it to you. So first up, I would just love to know where all of you guys are from. So just drop your country in the chat and let's get this going. So first of all, I just want to say a huge thank you to all of you. I posted obviously 7 videos on my YouTube channel starting a few weeks ago, and the feedback has been absolutely incredible. Like, all of you have enjoyed the videos, you have enjoyed the behind the scenes lessons, and yeah, I just want to say thank you for everybody who showed up. And basically how this live stream is going to go down is, first up, I'm just going to talk a little bit about the mission and vision behind Story Hero Academy. Then I'm going to give you an overview of the Academy. So we're actually just going to go through the website and I'm going to explain everything that we've built. After that, I'm going to give you an actual insight into the platform that you would be part of when you join the Academy. And then after that, we're actually going to launch the Academy together. We're going to open the doors so that you guys can join live and head to the website as well, and basically just secure your spot. And then after that, we're actually going to do a small Q&A session where I'm just going to answer some of your questions. And in the end, we actually have a small surprise. So definitely make sure that you stick until the end. Alrighty, so let's get into it. When it comes to the mission and vision behind this Academy, I mean, a lot of you guys have probably seen the 1-hour video that I've posted a few weeks ago. Here you can see it on my channel. It's this video here. I had to go through hell to find God. It is the longest video I've created. It is the most intense video I've created. And it is also the video I'm most proud of, because it is a story that is very close to my heart. And everybody who's watched it probably knows that the last 3.5 years of my life were pretty turbulent, but also pretty beautiful. You know, like I learned so many new things. And yeah, if you haven't watched that video already, then definitely check it out after the live stream. Now, when it comes to my YouTube channel, the OGs from back in the days who've been following me since the very beginning, all of them know that I've always created 2 different types of videos. So the first type were always these kind of story-driven personal videos about my life. Like, for example, start using your time, maximize your life, not your income, social media detox, all of these stories about my life that, yeah, just connected to a lot of people. And the second type were basically filmmaking tutorials. You can see it here: cinematic drone tips, gimbal tips, your camera doesn't matter. All of these tutorials to basically teach what I know about my craft. However, at some point I actually stopped creating filmmaking tutorials, and there are basically 2 different reasons for that. First of all, I didn't want to just like teach the craft, but I wanted to use the craft in order to tell deep and meaningful stories that would inspire a lot of people. And then the second point is actually that I feel like YouTube wasn't and still isn't the perfect platform to educate others about a skill. Like, I have a lot of deep knowledge about storytelling and filmmaking, but I always felt limited to kind of create quick tutorials on YouTube, because I have to adjust things in terms of retention. I always have to keep everybody entertained. While if people actually want to learn a skill, they sit down, they have the attention, they have the time, and they want to go into depth, you know? And for these reasons, at some point, I actually decided that I'm going to stop creating filmmaking tutorials and only focus on story-driven videos. And that's actually where my channel really took off. This is where you can see here videos like My Year 2020, Find Your Passion, all of these videos. All of you probably remember the dopamine detox video. Is probably my most famous video that got 13 million views. It's actually kind of insane to still see that number. But long story short, I just switched to story-driven videos, and that's where my channel exploded. But even though I did this for 2 years and I impacted millions of lives with those stories, there was still this kind of desire to teach something about my craft, you know? I by that point, I already had so much knowledge about storytelling and filmmaking. But as I said, I didn't want to teach it on YouTube. And there were actually also a few additional reasons that sparked that new desire for me to teach. One of them was that I was one of the few creators that actually shared these kind of like deep, vulnerable stories on my YouTube channel. And I felt like there weren't really that many other creators who created these types of videos. And I felt like they were very much needed and still are more needed than ever right now, because all of us need to share those stories in order to connect with each other, to inspire each other, and to basically just change our lives for the better. Another reason was that I always then showed my dream. So I showed how I transformed and how I basically built my dream life. But I never really shared the process that got me there, right? So I could inspire with my stories, but I never really shared kind of like everything about how I create videos that actually got me there. And another thing was also all of my friends and other creators that I knew in the space, everybody always seemed to struggle with storytelling, while for me it was always like pretty much effortless, you know? And last but not least, also my own journey of learning storytelling and filmmaking was very lonely and frustrating, because there was just like not really like one clear path. And all of these things combined basically just gave me this realization that I don't only want to inspire through story-driven videos, but I also want to help others walk the same journey that I've walked by sharing the tools that got me here, you know? And so this is basically the reason that sparked Story Hero Academy. And this is also the strong why that kept myself and the team going for 3.5 years. Like, you need a freaking strong why to do something for such a long time. And yeah, now I'm extremely excited to show to you what we have built. So let me actually just switch here to the website. And here you can see this beautiful website. You can see visual storytelling is your superpower. Create videos people care about and become the hero of your own story. So this is basically what we're going to help you to do. You're going to be able to create videos people actually care about and become the hero of your story, like you saw in the video, where you start writing your own chapters based on what you want to do, and you gain the freedom that you desire, rather than just sticking to the expectations of other people, you know? And how you do it is through visual storytelling. So let me actually break that down. So when you are on our website, actually, you're going to find a video here that is basically a visual version of everything that I'm going to show you right now. So it's basically a visual version of the whole website. So if you just click here, you're going to see a beautiful video, put a lot of effort and time into that one as well. And here you can basically just see what Story Hero Academy is all about. I recommend you to watch this after the live stream, but now you actually have me here live. So I'm actually just going to just guide you through the whole website myself, and I'm going to explain everything. First of all, Story Hero Academy is trusted by major brands such as Lens Distortions, Motion Array, Shortform, Artlist, GoPro, and also big creators with hundreds of thousands of subscribers. And here you can see what they had to say about the Academy. All of these are friends of mine. They've watched the actual lessons of the Academy, and this is what they had to say. Besides the brands and other creators, we also had more than 100 beta testers who actually already consumed the first 4 modules of the course, and all of them were completely blown away. And I'm going to share a little bit more about that later. Now, let me get into the flesh of this whole thing. The problem that probably most of you are struggling with is that nobody cares about your videos, right? You pour all of your time and effort and energy into creating a video, you pour your heart into it, and then you publish it, and then you just get 42 views, you know? And that feeling can be crushing. And I know that because I've been there myself. And when you're at that point, you probably just keep trying and you start to look for solutions, right? And then when you look for solutions online, a lot of people tell you, hey, okay, start with retention hacks and quick cuts and over-the-top sound design and try to make everything as cinematic as possible and try to follow viral trends. But if you've tried some of these things, you probably also saw that this is not the key to building a loyal, trusting audience that actually shows up and cares about you and your videos. So the actual thing that you need to realize is that nobody cares about your videos. And what you need to do is to get people to care about them. And the reason why people need to care is because it basically just sets off this chain reaction of different things that turns one-time viewers who've never seen you before into loyal followers who want to show up again and who want to support you. So when people care, they connect with you, they trust you, and when people trust you, they take action based on some of the things you say. And that action can be anything from showing up for your videos, supporting you if you have some sort of your own initiatives like a fundraiser, or you want to do a film festival, or if you want to sell your own products. You know, people need to trust you in order to be able to sell something. And last but not least, when people care, they also remember, and that's what gets them to come back to your channel, watch videos again, and then this whole cycle repeats. So it is it is the core. It is the core of good videos that people care about them. Because once that's done, then all of the rest falls into place. I've seen it with my YouTube channel, and I've seen it with countless other creators. And now the question is, how do you actually make people care, right? The only thing people care about is a good story told in a way that feels real. Okay, and now there are basically two different skills that allow you to do that. There are two skills that allow you to basically take simple everyday moments, no matter how amazing or boring your life is. You take simple everyday moments and you can turn them into an unforgettable experience that is going to stick into people's minds and they actually care about it. And those two skills are storytelling and filmmaking. Let's start with storytelling. So storytelling is the foundation of human connection, right? You saw it in the video. All of us have this human experience. We live our lives. We are these characters on our own journeys. And by sharing our stories, other people basically start to see themselves in some of the experiences that we had. And this is actually what creates this connection where, yeah, basically you see yourself in each other. And so long story short, storytelling turns ideas into something people can feel, remember, and most importantly, relate to. This is what I just said. But obviously over time, people told stories in many different ways. We had stories through text, through music, through paintings. There's all different sorts of like mediums to tell stories. But nowadays, we all know that the modern medium of communication is video. It is an audio-visual experience, and that's where filmmaking comes into play. Because filmmaking is the most powerful way to bring a story to life. Why? Because it taps into our strongest senses to pull viewers into a different world, you know? So basically sight and sound are our primary senses. And you right now, you probably feel like I'm kind of like sitting in front of you, right? And that's what actually immerses you in this experience. But once you actually understand all of the little nuances and all of the decision factors to create the perfect experience, then you can tell stories in a way where people actually feel like they go on the journey with you. This is exactly what I did on my YouTube channel with all of my story-driven videos. And that's why they had such a big impact on millions of people. It's because they felt like they went on this experience with me. They experienced it themselves, and that's what flipped the switch, broke the limiting belief, and allowed them to basically adjust their journey in life. Now, basically, those two skills combined, I truly believe that they are the most powerful skill of the 21st century. And both combined is what I call visual storytelling. Now, when you unlock those skills and when you master those two skills, then you will be able to have a lot of benefits when it comes to creating content. First of all, you will be able to break through the noise. We all know it that social media is very oversaturated nowadays. Probably like every niche is already like very saturated, and there's also a lot of noise. But when you can tell stories that really resonate with people, then you're able to kind of like break through that noise and actually make people stick through your videos. The second thing is that you can build trust and loyalty. We know that attention fades, right? Like you can quickly get somebody's attention and then you focus, but over time it fades, you know? And the other thing is that connection, on the other hand, actually makes people want to keep watching, right? And that's basically what also turns casual viewers into loyal followers who trust you and who support you. This is what I meant earlier with this kind of like cycle of how when people care, everything falls into place. The third benefit of visual storytelling is that you can leave a lasting mark. This is what I said, that you can turn something simple into an unforgettable experience that actually hits deep emotions in the viewer and leaves a lasting mark and makes it impossible to forget. And then last but not least, visual storytelling is also the most powerful skill to inspire real impact. All of the biggest movements in history were about storytelling. And nowadays they're going to happen through visual storytelling, because this is where you basically just reach millions of people on a much bigger scale. So if you want to really like have a great impact on other people, have a positive change on the world, visual storytelling is the way. This is why I do it, right? Now, while all of these benefits are great, there are probably some reasons why you are stuck. There's a reason why you can't master visual storytelling yet. And I want to quickly break those down for you. First, you can't translate ideas into stories. So probably you have great stories, but then you kind of struggle to shape them into, you have great ideas, but you struggle to shape them into stories that actually captivate, engage, and emotionally connect with other people. Then the second issue a lot of people are facing is that you can't package your stories into videos. So maybe you can figure out the storytelling side and you can do it in text form, but then you don't really have the shooting and editing skills to turn that into an audiovisual experience that is much more impactful. The third point is that you're probably lost in the technical details. I know so many filmmakers who just focus on making their videos look cinematic and polished and let's make everything look beautiful and have insane transitions, but still they then just kind of like neglect the story. They forget about the story, they keep everything at the surface, and that's what doesn't allow other people to actually connect with your videos and with the story. And then the last problem that a lot of people are facing is that they focus on the wrong things. So probably what I said earlier, you chase viral trends and optimize for retention, but without real emotional connection, you're forgotten in seconds. Now, I would actually love to know which of those 4 problems resonates most with you. So I would love it if you guys can just put either the number 1, 2, 3, or 4 just into the chat, because I'd love to know which one of those, basically just applies most to your situation. Alrighty, now the thing is that you're struggling with those things, not because you're lacking talent, but because modern education is outdated and it has failed you. Our education system was basically never built for you to succeed as a modern video creator. It's just outdated by now. And in order to give you an idea of the different education paths that exist right now and how all of them have their unique flaws, I'm going to show you a quick overview here. So the 4 different education paths, if you want to learn visual storytelling, are first, film schools, second, media programs, third, online courses, and fourth, YouTube tutorials. Probably all of you are kind of familiar with these different ones, but as I said, each of them has their different flaws and problems, and I know that because I've experienced all of them myself. When it comes to film schools, they try to force you to be specialized. So either you can become a director or a screenwriter or a cinematographer or an editor. But we all know that nowadays, as a creator, you need to be able to take an idea to the final video all by yourself, right? Then the other thing about film schools is that they're usually just completely outdated because it's just kind of like this traditional filmmaking where they they talk about outdated gear and also outdated techniques and strategies. And then the last thing is also that they're super expensive. Like a lot of film schools cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, which already puts it out of perspective for a lot of people. Then when it comes to media programs, some of them actually tackle more of the different steps. So they maybe show you how to write the script, shoot the video, and edit the video, but then they don't really have any deep focus on storytelling. And that's a problem because, as you know, storytelling is the key to connection and is the core of every video. When it comes to online courses, a lot of them are really unstructured. So a lot of creators just kind of like batch their different tips into kind of like some categories, but it is always a mess to really like find what you need at your point in time. The other thing also about online courses is that a lot of people just teach with A-roll talking head parts like this. So people just sit in front of the camera, they explain something to you, but they don't really show anything with videos or animations, even though they teach about filmmaking, right? The very craft that they're teaching, they don't use it to educate, which I think doesn't make any sense. And then last but not least, also online courses often have communities, but they really lack support, and most of their communities are often inactive and there's really nothing happening. And then lastly, when it comes to YouTube tutorials, they're great because they're free. And I've also learned a lot through YouTube tutorials, but usually all of the tips are very scattered and it is extremely hard to connect all of the dots because you watch one video about one specific thing and it doesn't really like connect to the next thing that you need to learn. Also, because of the whole retention aspect on YouTube, all of the tips are usually just kept on surface level, you know? So people don't really go into depth about the actual decisions that you need to make. So a lot of people also just focus on like, what buttons do you need to click in your editing software to do this and this effect? But nobody really teaches the decisions you need to make in order to create an amazing video that has a deep story. So basically all of those different education paths aren't going to be able to prepare you to become a modern video creator. And that is why my team and I have built Story Hero Academy, because we wanted to do it differently. We wanted to look at all of these downsides and we wanted to fix all of these problems and build one education that basically combines the best of both worlds. And that's basically what brings me to Story Hero Academy. Here you can see it, this beautiful image. I love it. And the most important thing to understand about Story Hero Academy is that it combines both a course and a community. So Story Hero Academy combines a course that teaches you the principles with a community that helps you apply them in the real world. So basically it's a complete ecosystem built to fast track your growth as a modern video creator. Why do we have a course and a community? Because every skill can only be learned through theory and practice. Probably you've already heard that before, but this is actually the case. Only frameworks and knowledge are not going to get you the results, and only just practicing without actually knowing what to do doesn't get you results either. So you need the combination of both theory and practice, and that's why we have the course to teach you all of the theory, and we have the community to help you implement all of the learnings and basically turn them into practice and also walk the journey with other people. So let me actually first talk a little bit about the course, and then afterwards we're going to talk about the community. When it comes to the course, this is, again, a little image that gives you a bit of an insight into what it is all about. First of all, you can see some of the stats here. We have 84 lessons, 84 video lessons, 7 exercise lessons. We have 70 hours, more than 70 hours of video content. And we have more than 3,000 custom animations. And that is, I think, the thing that stands out most when it comes to this video course. And that's also the reason why it took us 3.5 years, is because we put visual learning at the core of it. I believe that visual language is more than 3 times as effective as spoken language. This is what I said earlier. I can basically just talk to you like this and explain everything and try to make some gestures. Or I can show you different visuals, and then it suddenly automatically clicks. You know, it's just so much quicker to learn. And that's why we filled all of these lessons with a ton of footage from my projects, from additional basically shoots where we captured additional footage just to explain certain things, and also all of these different animations. You've probably seen some of these animations already in the behind the scenes lessons. And they honestly, like, all the people that watched it were always that the animations just made things click right away that they never understood for so many years. Then another aspect is that besides all of the video lessons, we also give you additional downloads like cheat sheets, which are basically like text summaries of certain lessons in order to remember certain things, or something like worksheets as well. Plus, we also give you additional resources that you can just immediately use in your own workflow. So it's like different sorts of templates, and I'm going to show you a little bit about that in a second. Yeah, so this is kind of like a general overview, but now let's actually get into the meat of the course, which is the curriculum. So let me just explain to you what you're going to learn. So as I said, a lot of online courses have this kind of like unstructured organization of their different video lessons. But for me, it only made sense to teach everything step by step of the actual process of how you create a video from idea to the final edit. Okay, and that's why we basically organized our whole curriculum into the 3 production phases of every video, which is which is pre-production, production, and post-production. So these are the 3 brackets, and in those we have different modules. At the beginning, we have an introduction module where basically we just explain all of the essential things to make sure that you consume it correctly and that you actually get results. And then we go into the pre-production phase where we start with storytelling, where it is about developing the story. And I'm also teaching a lot of aspects that basically apply to all of the different steps that follow. So this basically sets the foundation of the video. And then once you know your story, you turn it into a script. So this is where we go into script writing. After that, you organize your shoots. So you basically just do like different preparations in order to, just basically be organized when it comes to the shoot, to have a shot list, a film schedule, maybe some mood boards. And then after that, you choose all of your gear, you choose your different cameras, lighting equipment, audio equipment, and then you head out to the shoot, you capture all of the footage. After that, you edit the footage, and then last but not least, if you want to, you can also add some animations in there in order to visualize certain aspects that might be hard to just show with footage. Now, at the end, we also have another module which is called What's Next, and here basically we just explain to you how to take all of the skills you've learned and how to build the dream life that you want to have with those skills. So we give you kind of like different avenues that you can take to gain different levels of freedom. Now, when it comes to all of these lessons, there is actually a small gift for you. Some of you might remember that on my social media, I mentioned that there's a free gift in this live stream. And it's basically that you can watch free lessons already on the website. We decided, on top of all of the YouTube videos that we already published, to give you 3 free lessons that you can access here. So whenever it says free lesson, you can just click on the lesson overview. And then where it says free, you can just click on it and you hit play, and boom, you can watch a full lesson with everything. So yeah, this is a small gift to you, so you can get an even further insight into it, because I just want you to understand what you actually get yourself into, you know? Now, if we would summarize all of this, it is a step-by-step guide from beginning to end, from the idea to the final video, and it is going to be the only course you need. You don't need to buy multiple different courses to learn something about lighting, something about storytelling, something about shooting, but everything is in this one course. It's the one resource you need. And another thing that is also, which I'm actually really proud of, is that you can access all of the modules right away, except for the animations module. I know so many online courses that are being launched with just like a few lessons just to already sell to people with the minimum viable product. And then they only release lessons over the next months and so on. And I just always hated that, because if I buy something, then I want to actually have everything to just get started and to work towards my dream outcome, right? And that's why you will be able to access all of these lessons right away once you join the academy. Also, it is important to mention, it might be a bit overwhelming for some of you to have like 70 hours of video content. It is important to mention you don't need to consume everything in order to get results. You can dive into the module where you feel like you're the weakest, and then you can just improve there. And you're already going to get results from just a few lessons. So don't think that that you have to consume everything in order to do that. Now, besides all of the video lessons, as I said, we also have some different additions to the course. One of them is a Notion workspace. I think many of you actually remember that video I created back then. Let me quickly find it for you. I created this video, how to plan and organize your videos Notion filmmaking workflow. Got 500,000 views, so a lot of people were interested in that. And I basically took that Notion workspace and I did a complete rehaul of it. I made it much better templates, and I'm just going to give you a very quick insight into it now. So basically, this is what your workspace looks like. You have your own videos that you can create in here. Here you can collect your ideas, and here you actually have some examples from my own video project. So when it comes to the videos, you will find templates here where you have, for example, a story overview that allows you to figure out what your story actually is with some of the aspects that we actually teach inside the course already in here. So everything is completely integrated with each other, which I think makes this so valuable. Besides that, you have research outline scripts, you have a gear checklist, and one of the things that is, I think, one of the most valuable things in this as well is that we made the shot list dynamic. So if we just go into one of the projects in here, I'm going to show you what the shot list looks like. Here, you see this is a normal shot list, but now you can also like basically just filter by different properties, like by the chapter, by the type of footage you need to capture. So you see all of the A-roll, the B-roll, the animations, and you can also do it by location. So trust me, this is going to make your shoot 10 times more effective. And yeah, that's basically included inside the workspace. As I said, you also have access to some of the different pre-production materials from my own videos. So you can see here, you can go into the pre-production materials of my dopamine detox video. You can actually go into the script of that, and you will be able to see the whole script of my dopamine detox video, which gives you an additional insight into how I created everything. So yeah, Notion workspace, complete overhaul. Next thing is also, as I said, we give you different downloads. Again, I'm going to give you a quick insight into that. As I said, we have a couple of different cheat sheets just for you to get an idea of like what the quality of these additional downloads is. Here you can see we also put a lot of work into them to give you kind of like the best possible summaries of some of the more complex lessons where it is useful to revisit some of the aspects. Here's another one about visual psychology. We also include different visuals in here. We include animations. We also have like 3D animations. Honestly, we went completely overboard so that you really understand everything as easily as possible. And then last but not least, you also get discounts. You get discounts from our different partners such as Artlist, GoPro, and some of the other brands that you wouldn't get outside of the academy. So yeah, this is basically everything when it comes to the course. But if you remember what I said earlier, theory doesn't mean anything without practice. And that's where the community comes into play. Theory isn't enough, and that's where we are going to the community. When I started, I had no feedback and no support. The Story Hero community connects you with like-minded creators to collaborate, stay inspired, and grow, so you never have to create alone. As I said, and as you've probably also seen throughout my whole journey, I've been kind of a lone wolf for the last 15 years of my filmmaking journey, and I don't want you to go through that. That is a big reason for me to create this education, because I want to serve my younger self, and I know that other people are at those earlier steps in their journey. And a community is exactly what I needed back then, because with a community, we grow faster and we have inspiration and motivation and accountability, which is completely needed to create videos on a consistent basis. If you want to give up, there's going to be somebody else who basically just picks you up, gets you motivated again, and you keep pushing. And in our community, you know, we want to really create a place where storytellers and filmmakers become family. We really want it to be a tight-knit community where people care about each other, right? Everybody should care about each other and support each other so that we can learn, push, and grow together. But I'm going to show you a little bit more about the community in a little bit. I'm going to actually show you what it looks like on the platform. But before that, let me also explain some of the additional bonuses that come with the community. One of them is that we do expert workshops with other creators. By now, I have a massive network of successful creators, filmmakers, or entrepreneurs. And we're going to get some of them into the community to do kind of like podcast style workshops together, where we basically uncover their secrets to their unique style and workflow when it comes to visual storytelling. We're going to do in-person meetups because I believe that online is nice, but you know, like in person is just, it hits on a different level because you can feel each other's energy. You can really like talk on a deeper level. And that's why we're going to do in-person meetups on a consistent basis. And then last but not least, we also are going to do contests. I think that some healthy competition is really good to improve in your skills. And yeah, my long-term vision for Story Hero Academy is also to do some in-person film festivals where we rent out a cinema, we show the winners of those contests, and we celebrate with each other in person. Like this is one of my dreams, and I know that we're going to make it happen. Yeah, that's everything when it comes to the bonuses. And as I said, now I'm going to give you an insight into the actual platform. So this is what it looks like. As you can see, it's a really nice looking platform with the same design as the rest of our branding and also my YouTube videos with all of the yellow elements. And I basically just want to give you a quick breakdown of what we have here on the platform. So one of the most important things for me was to combine the community and the course on the same platform. It's always a pain in the ass to just have different platforms that you need to access, and we want this to be integrated with each other. And that's why we have these three different groups here. We have the overview, we have the community, and we have the course. Okay, and within those different groups, we have different spaces where you can do all sorts of different things. For you to know, we already gave the beta testers that helped us develop the course early access yesterday. So some of the people already joined. So if we go here to the members tab, you can already see we have 56 members. And yeah, here you can already see some of the people that have already joined. And yeah, when it comes to the different spaces, I'm just going to give you a quick overview of the overview space and the course space, and then a little bit more detailed overview of the community spaces. In the overview space here, we're going to onboard you. We have a super nice welcome video to get you set up with everything. We also have some additional posts where we just explain kind of like the basic things that everybody needs to know to understand how the whole community works. We have an announcement space where we basically just let you know about major updates or major events and stuff like that. And then when it comes to the course, we have both the lessons and the resources. The lessons, this is basically your interface of what it looks like. You can collapse all of the modules, and here you see all of the modules that I showed you earlier in the curriculum. And when you then click on one of the lessons, then this is what the interface looks like. Everything loads super smoothly. We have a really nice hosting platform. And here you're going to be able to just watch everything. And as you see, we also have chapters for every single video. Like everything is super structured and organized. It's probably my German side coming out there. So we have chapters for everything. We have a short text summary for every lesson. You have also the time codes of the chapters. And then whenever there are resources linked to the lesson, you can also just have, like you can just click here and you will be brought to them right away, which will bring us later to the resources section. So yeah, let's just click through a couple of different lessons here for you to get an insight. It honestly, it blows my mind still now to see all of this after 3.5 years of creating it. So this is basically what all of the lessons look like on the platform. But as I said, then we also have the resources. So this is basically where you're going to find all of the cheat sheets, where you're going to find the Notion template, and also where you find the discounts and my Premiere Pro settings, all sorts of other stuff. You can find it in here. Now let's talk about the community. In the posts here, this is basically kind of like a social media feed where everybody can connect with each other. So here, a lot of the beta testers or all of the people who already joined, they are already introducing themselves in here. And as it is kind of like a social media feed, you can give each other likes and you can also comment on each other's posts. So if we just go down here, you see that you can reply to each other's posts. And this is basically the main space where everybody interacts with each other. The chat is basically just there for some direct communication. People are already chatting here at the moment. Also yesterday, I just sent in a photo. This was last night with the team getting hyped up for this launch live stream. And then we also have a feedback space. One of the most important things about a community is to get feedback on your work, because that allows you to understand what aspects of the workflow you're still struggling with. And that also informs you what lessons you need to watch next. And for this reason, we have this feedback space where you can basically submit your outlines, your scripts, your edits, and also your thumbnails. And other people can give you feedback on it. But also my community manager, Robbie, and our customer success manager, Patrick, are going to give you feedback as well. And I'm also going to give feedback occasionally within the space. Then when it comes to the event space, this is where all of the events will be scheduled. So this is where we're going to have the accountability calls. This is where we're going to have the expert workshops, story brainstorming sessions, and also in-person events get announced in here. And then lastly, we also have a recording space, and here you will basically be able to find replays of all of the different events and workshops. So yeah, this is an overview of everything about the community. But one thing that I quickly also wanted to touch on is that a lot of communities become inactive, and that's obviously against the whole idea of a community, right? You want to have an active community where people actually support each other and help each other grow. And I really thought about this aspect a lot, because I didn't want to just have another dead community where just the crickets are chirping and nobody does anything. And for this reason, as I said, we have a full-time community manager and a full-time customer success manager whose only job is to help you get results. Their only job is to help you get to where you want to go. And that is already an extremely big benefit that makes the community a lot more active, but still it can feel a bit one-sided if it's just my team to all of the people in the community. And for this reason, we actually have a leaderboard system integrated into the community. So this is what the leaderboard looks like. So basically, people get points for high-value actions, such as feedbacking, commenting on each other's posts. All of those actions will be rewarded with points, which allows you to level up. And then with the levels, you unlock new rewards, such as free products in my online shop or a one-on-one feedback session with me. And here you can see all of the people are basically at the top of the leaderboard. And we're also going to do monthly calls where the top 3 people of each month are always going to be rewarded, even with additional prizes that we just chime in from the money we make from the academy. So yeah, this is everything about the academy. And yeah, now it's time to reveal to you the one-time launch offer that we give you right now. So yeah, basically, as you saw, Story Hero Academy gives you everything you need to succeed. It basically solves all of the problems that all of the other education paths have. As we said, film schools are specialized, outdated, and expensive. We teach the full process from idea to the final video. Everything is up to date, and we are affordable. When it comes to media programs, no real focus on storytelling. We teach every single step through the lens of storytelling, because we know that the story is the core of every video. Then online courses are unstructured, no visual learning and no real support and community. Our modules, again, are based on the process. We have 3,000 plus custom animations and a ton of footage. Plus we have a high focus on the community. And while YouTube tutorials just have kind of like scattered surface level tips and they focus on the tools, we actually have a step-by-step process with in-depth explanations of what actually matters. So as I said, Story Hero Academy combines the best of all worlds to serve modern creators. And if you were to compare this academy to any of the other education paths that are out there, it would probably come closest to film schools, just because of the depth and because it is a whole system with theory and practice integrated into it. However, as you know, film schools take years to finish. It's a massive freaking commitment. And a lot of them actually cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars. And with Story Hero Academy, you basically get a system that gets you results in months, not years. And you also get that for a fraction of the cost. And that's where we come to the one-time launch offer. So the standard offer, with the standard offer, you usually pay $2,499. And with that, you get lifetime access to the course, plus you get a 1-month trial to the community, after which you pay $49 per month. However, as I said, we have this one-time launch offer, which is never going to come back. And with that, you basically get a $500 discount. So instead of $2,499, you only pay $1,999. Again, you get lifetime access to the course, plus instead of only 1 month trial for the community, you get 6 months of trial for the community. And only after that, you will have to pay that small fee on a monthly basis. Now, there are basically 2 different payment options that you can use. Either you can just do an upfront payment and pay everything right away. Or if you prefer to pay in installments, you can also split it into 3 installments of $666. And that basically allows you to just do it on your own terms. Now, the important thing about this offer is that we only allow 500 people in for this first launch. There's only 500 spots available. In fact, there's even less spots available because already, as you saw, a lot of beta testers joined. So it's probably more like 460 spots that are still available. Also, after this live stream, we're actually going to send out an email with basically this page to more than 45,000 people of my email newsletter. So I'm pretty sure that all of these remaining spots are going to sell out quite quickly. And when all of these spots are gone, there's not going to be any offer. There's also not going to be the standard offer, but we close doors until next year we open the doors again. And the reason why we only limit it to 500 people is because we want to give you the best possible experience. So as I said, if you want to get into Story Hero Academy, now is the time. And that's why my team is now going to send the link to this page into the chat. And then you can just click on it right away. And this is where Story Hero Academy is officially freaking live. I can already hear my team celebrating at the top, where we're all just right now in Bali and everybody's freaking hyped. Yeah, man, it's a crazy moment because I've been waiting, like my team and I have been waiting for this freaking moment for 3.5 years. And it's kind of surreal for it to happen right now, you know? And I want to thank all of you so much for all of your patience and your support over the years. Like all of the OGs that supported me, you know who you are. And yeah, damn, this is a big moment. Now, when you actually click on the website, I'm going to show you now how you can actually get to the checkout and yeah, basically purchase the course. So when you land on the platform, you basically scroll down to this offer section, and then you can just click here on Get Access Now, or if you want to do the installments, you can click here. Oops, sorry, I'm not sharing my screen. So when you're on the website, you click on Get Access Now if you want to do the full payment, or you can join in 3 installments. So if you just click on that, you're going to get to our checkout. And our checkout basically has 3 different steps: checkout, community, and then complete, where you receive your invoice. So this is just a normal checkout. You fill out all of your details. And here on the right side, you also see a summary of how much you need to pay. And one important thing to notice is that the free community trial is only going to happen on the next page. Okay, so you first need to purchase the course, and then you get to this next tab, which is for the community. And then there you are going to opt in for the community trial, where for half a year you don't have to pay anything, and only after that you will have to pay this small monthly fee on a consistent basis. I highly recommend every single person to opt into the community trial. As I said, half a year free access. You can try it out. You can see if it is for you. And if you don't like it, you can always cancel your subscription at any time. We made this super easy because I know that nowadays so many services have subscriptions, and it's always kind of like a bit of a pain in the ass to just keep track with all of these subscriptions, and suddenly you get charged with something. So I wanted to make this super transparent and easy for you. And we're actually going to send you out even notifications before your trial ends, for you to make a conscious decision of whether or not you want to stay. So yeah, that's basically everything about how you get to the checkout. And I know that some people might still be skeptical. If you are skeptical, I give you a 30 days money back guarantee. So you basically have 0 risk. So you can basically join. You're in there for 30 days. You realize, oh man, like actually this is not what I expected. You send us an email, no questions asked, you get your money back. I think this just kind of like speaks for how confident we are actually in the product. And yeah, this is just going to, I think, just reduce the risk, because you basically don't have any risk. Now, as I said earlier, we already had more than 100 beta testers. So don't think that you're going to be the first people actually testing this whole product. We had 100 people going through most of the modules. And here on the website, you're actually going to find some of the testimonials from those people. I was actually blown away by all of the incredible feedback on all of the different lessons. And I highly recommend you to just read through some of these, because this is going to give you a good insight into what people actually think, and not just my perspective on it. Awesome. Now let's jump into a quick Q&A section. It would be great if all of you just drop your questions into the chat, and then I'm going to select a few of them and I'm going to answer them live. But while you do that, I'm already going to answer some of the most common questions that we just received over the last few weeks. So one question we often get is, do I get an invoice and can I add my company details? Yes, you get an automatic invoice after the checkout right away. And you can also add all of your business infos right in the checkout with your VAT sales tax, so that you can actually claim your sales tax back afterwards. Another question a lot of people ask is, do beta testers get a launch discount? Yes, back then we promised to our beta testers that they will receive an additional 10% discount on this offer that you just saw for helping us develop this course together. So if you were part of the beta tester program, please check your inbox. You should have already received an email. Another question a lot of people ask is, how much experience do I actually need to be part of this academy? This academy is designed for any experience level, beginner, intermediate, advanced. It is designed for everybody because I teach everything from the ground up. And because we have such a good structure and organization with the chapters and also summaries at the end of each lesson, it is extremely easy to navigate to the exact knowledge you need for yourself. So for example, if you're advanced, you can quickly skip through the different chapters to find what you need. So no matter which experience level you are, it is going to help you level up to the next level. And I know that also for advanced filmmakers, don't think that this is just kind of like a workflow to get you from level 0 to 1. This is a ton of knowledge that a lot of advanced filmmakers don't know yet. And I know that because so many of my friends who shoot like huge commercials for, I don't know, like Formula 1 teams, they've even watched the lessons and they were like, man, there's so many things that I didn't understand to that level before. Another question a lot of people also ask is, can I join if I don't have expensive gear? Yes, 100%. As I said, we focus on visual storytelling, and gear can help you tell some of those parts of the story in a better way, but the core of your story, you can tell, like, you can basically capture it with any camera. So you can also do it with your phone. And in fact, in the gear module, we even talk about whether or not gear matters, and we help you choose the right gear that you need to buy for the stories that you want to tell. Alrighty, now let me get into the chat here and look at a couple of questions. Will there be a Black Friday sale on the end of November? No, there will be no Black Friday sale. This is the only time where we launch this year. Will we have lifetime access to everything via the platform? This won't change. As I said, you have lifetime access to the community, so all of the video lessons and the resources, you have lifetime access to it. When it comes to the community, this is where you will have to pay on a monthly basis after your trial, because obviously it also costs money for us to sustain that community and to keep it valuable. Like, that's why we said that it is going to be a subscription basis, because if it wouldn't be, I wouldn't be able to pay other people to help you get results. I wouldn't be able to show up on a consistent basis. And only in this way, it is actually going to be active and valuable for you. When are you going to open the doors next year? I can't tell you exactly yet. We have to set up kind of like just an evergreen funnel in order to do that, which is going to take some time. Let me pick 2 more questions and then we're going to move on. Is it possible to subscribe to the community without buying the course? Good question. At the moment, it is not possible, because we want people who are actually part of this whole ecosystem together. And when people actually purchase the course, we know that they're committed to actually pursue their dreams. And we only want to have really committed people in the community at the beginning. There might be an option that we do that in the future, but for now, you cannot purchase the community by itself. Now, let's pick the last question here. When will there be a special gift for Livestream joiners? If you only joined a bit later, I already showed you earlier, you can basically go onto the website into the curriculum section here. You can go into the lesson overview and you can watch different lessons for free. So that is the free gift that I basically give out to all of you. Cool. I think that should already answer a lot of the questions that some of you had. Feel free to also reach out to my team via email at support@storyhero.com. And support at story-hero.com, and then they're also going to answer some of the questions you have. So yeah, again, this is basically everything about the Academy. My team is going to send the link into the chat again so that you can join, and I can already see that there's definitely a lot of different people joining right now. So yeah, if you want to join, now's the time, and I would love to see you inside the Academy. Now, as I said, I have a last little surprise for you, and that surprise is for anyone who can come to Bali in Indonesia next week. As I said, my team and I are currently all in Bali in Indonesia, and we're going to throw an in-person launch party for Story Hero Academy. So this is what it looks like. Fireworks are popping. And yeah, we're going to host an in-person launch party on Saturday, November 15th at 7 p.m. Bali time. And there we're going to get more than 100 creators together. And we're going to celebrate the launch of the Academy. I think it's going to be a very special evening. I look forward to see all of you. And this is for everybody. This is for everybody, not only people who join the Academy, but everybody can basically register for this event and come to it. And it is completely free. So it is a great chance to meet other big creators and connect with other people that you can share this journey with. And you can basically just register via the link that my team is now going to put into the chat. And when you register, you also have to add your social media profile, but please only register if you can actually come to Bali, okay? So if you're in a different country, please don't take the spots from other people. Only register for it if you can actually show up. And as we have limited capacity, we're only going to approve a certain amount of people until the venue is kind of maxed out. So for some people, maybe we won't be able to approve depending on how many people actually register. So yeah, I'm looking forward to see some of you there at the event. And as a last point of this live stream, I also wanted to talk just a tiny bit about the future of this YouTube channel, right? Like, you didn't really hear much from me for 3.5 years. My 1-hour video showed me why. And also this probably showed you why, because you've seen how much work went into this academy. But yeah, I'm going to get back into creating YouTube videos. I'm going to get back into creating story-driven, inspirational, meaningful videos that inspire other people to pursue their dreams. I've gone on this different road now to teach all of the tools to help people actually go through the process and walk a similar path, but I still want to inspire a lot of people. And there are so many insights that I've learned over the last few years, both when it comes to filmmaking and when it comes to life in general, that I can't wait to share with you. And I'm extremely excited what my videos are even going to look like, because I know that it's definitely going to be a bit different. And yeah, it's obviously also important for you to know that the first months of the academy are going to take a lot of focus and energy from my side. And that's why I will probably ease back into creating YouTube videos from the beginning of next year. And as I said, I'm really excited. So I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here in the live stream, for supporting me. And my team is actually already waiting here in behind the camera. So actually the whole team should just come in here. Alrighty guys, so we're going to see us inside the academy, or we're going to see us back here on YouTube. I love you and I hope that you have a beautiful day. See you, bye bye.